Ever since the rise of image in the 90s, securing a creator-owned deal has been a goal for many new and experienced comic creators. But what exactly is a creator-owned deal, and how is it different from other types of comic book publishing? Well, my name is Gamal Hennessy, and I'm going to answer both these questions in this video. I'm also going to lay out the basic elements of a creator-owned deal and what you should look out for when considering one of these contracts for your comic. Now, as a comic book attorney, I often define creator owned comics as narrative sequential art developed, produced, and distributed with the support or assistance of a third party publisher. In most cases, the creator is responsible for producing and marketing the book, and the publisher is responsible for distribution, advertising, sales, and other business functions. As the third option of comic book publishing, creator owned deals sit between independent and freelance publishing. In independent publishing, you own the IP and you are responsible for publishing that comic. The upside here is that if there is any profit, it belongs to you. The downside is that the success of your comic hinges on the popularity of the IP and your ability to successfully manage all the different aspects of running a small business based on narrative art. Failure in either the creative or the business side can cripple the entire enterprise. On the opposite end of the spectrum, freelance comic book creators don't own any of the IP they create, and they don't have any responsibility for the publishing of the book outside of their commissioned input. This means that the risks are lower. You get paid no matter what happens to the book, but your potential rewards are also lower because if your story becomes the basis of a movie, you usually don't get any of that money. With creator-owned publishing, both the risks and the rewards are higher because financial success is tied to multiple factors. In theory, a creator shares the ownership of the IP with a publisher, and depending on both the popularity of the IP and the structure of the contract, the creator can see a substantial profit from their work. However, if the IP isn't successful, or if the contract denies a creator any real share of the profits, as we will see later, then there may not be any compensation for the creator. Because of the unique nature of creator-owned deals, they have specific business and foundation terms prospective creators should be aware of. When we talk about creators, we mean everyone who owns a piece of the IP of the comic. This may be the writer and the artist, or the entire creative team. The title means what property is being licensed, and whether that includes the prequels, sequels, or spin-offs. The rights granted means what the publisher will or will not be allowed to create based on the deal. The formats are the types of things that the publisher can release, whether that's print, digital, or something else. The delivery materials means what you are required to produce as a creator, including the actual book and any marketing materials. The term is how long the deal lasts. The territory is where in the world a publisher can sell the various formats, which usually coincides with the languages. The copyright outlines who actually owns and controls the underlying IP. The advance, or the minimum guarantee, is the money the publisher gives you upfront for the publishing rights and then recovers once your book makes a profit. The royalties are the percentage of profit you make from the sale of each book. Accounting statements and auditing give you the right to make sure the publisher is paying you for what you deserve. The costs outline who pays for what aspect of the book being released. The credit refers to how your name will appear on the book and the marketing materials. Approvals refer to how much control you have over the release of the book. Recovery is your ability to get your IP back when the deal ends, and confidentiality is the obligation to protect the terms of the deal. Now, each of these elements are on their own are part of a complex system. And if any one of them are worded the wrong way, the entire deal could shift into something very unfavorable to you. If the IP is defined as anything you ever create in relation to the story, and the rights and format include every form of media now known or invented in the future, and the term is the length of the copyright, which is your life plus 70 years, and the territory is the entire universe, and there is no upfront money, and the royalties are based on Hollywood accounting, and all the costs are deducted from your share of royalties, and your credit on the book is not guaranteed, and you have no approval for any aspect of the book, and you can never get the rights back to your story, and you can't even mention the details of the contract to anyone, then you are looking at the classic creator-owned content trap. If you sign this type of deal, you are basically giving away ownership and control of your comic for what might be little or no money in the end. This is why comic book attorneys I know often refer to these deals as creator-driven as opposed to creator-owned, because ownership is not a default in these contracts. Now, this video is not designed to scare you away from pursuing a creator-driven deal. The goal here is to help you look at these deals with your eyes open. Understanding, negotiating, and signing the right contracts for your creative project might take some time and cost you some money. But if you sign the right contracts up front, you'll save money in the long term and put both you and your book in a better position to succeed. Because every creator-driven contract is different, this overview isn't legal advice. If you have specific questions about a deal you're working on and you'd like to schedule a free consultation, you can find the link to my website in the notes and on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about the business and legal side of comics, you can join the Comics Publishing Institute with the other link in the notes and on the screen as well. Until next time, have fun with your comics.